Good afternoon, families. It is Monday, February 28th, 2022. It is the last day of the month of February. Tomorrow is March 1st, and it is beautiful and warm. So I hope you have a chance, if you don't, to get outside and get a little bit of fresh air because it feels amazing. We did this afternoon, and everyone was just in much brighter spirits. I hope your weekend was well. Here are the updates for our class for this last week. We have conferences on March 10th and 11th. That's Thursday and Friday. I sent out an email just this last week with a sign up genius. I believe I am down to just one, just waiting on one for sign up. If something comes up, please let me know right away if you need to change a time or switch a time. Something that works for you. As always, please make sure you just let me know. I'm always willing to work to make sure that I can just sit down and chat with you about what's going on and how are things and see what's working for you and what's happening here at school that's working for us and see what we need to do and keep working forwards for the rest of the year. Other things that are coming up. Oh, so there's a possible announcement. Okay. In reading, we've been working on larger stories, and we've been working in small groups, reading this book, Detective Donut and the Wild Goose Chase, which has some really big, tough, tricky words that we are sitting together and working out and reading through because it's just a larger and better story. So I've kind of got like some kind of notes in there as we've paused and stopped. So that's something we've been working on in reading, while students are then independently reading on their own out and about. In writing, we're going to be working into opinion writing. So most of the students have at this point finished their nonfiction writing piece, one or two, or some are working into their third, just kind of on a roll and really feeling it, which has been great. It's definitely translated into stronger reading independent work that I have seen, probably better than I have in the last 2 or 3 years. So that's exciting. Let's see, in math, we are working on coin money and place value. So identifying coin money, dimes and pennies, of course, because those fit really well with a place value chart like tens and ones. So you may have seen stuff like this coming home. We're going to be working on today. We started with adding one more and then adding 10 more. So that's something you've probably noticed. Other news in math. I made some custom Pokemon cards. These are all completely custom, and they're not real cards because I used a website and changed some of the values. We used them to help compare and contrast numbers, greater than, less than, and then even start writing short subtraction sentences, which is really cool, and the kids got really excited. So that was pretty awesome. In social studies, we are working on our Me on the Map. So we've been working on writing different places and working on our picture of like Lake Bluff and drawing and adding into our books about what we've been working on there. Today marks the very last of our kind of highlighted people of importance, Martin Luther King Jr., someone we've talked about and learned about. Today we watched the I Have a Dream speech in its complete, total version, which is wonderful and amazing. It's only like 7.5 minutes long, but it's just so empowering and inspiring. So I hope these have sparked a little bit of conversation at home on some of the things that we've just been talking about, especially around our park values, like perseverance and advocacy, responsibility and kindness, things that we do to make the world a better place, which is pretty awesome. That said, as it gets warmer, please make sure you're sending kiddos with boots. I would encourage you to send an extra pair of socks in a plastic baggie in backpacks. Just kind of keep them in there. We had a couple of students who stepped in some gushy spots with shoes today at recess and had wet shoes, and there's only so many things that we have. That said, from our district nurse who's here at Lake Bluff, there's lots of great need for old socks or socks that are gently used. So we've been cleaning out at my house, and so I bring in like the old and smaller like baby socks and like kiddo socks from when my children were a little bit smaller. And I donate those things to the nurse, so that way if someone has an accident or same thing, someone gets a gushy sock, we got some dry clothes. So that goes for socks, pants, leggings, sweatpants, things that are kind of easy for someone to change into if they like slip and fall in like the snow and they get wet. That's always huge and helpful. It's at this time of the year I always recommend as well. If by the end of the year or the end of this season, if you got snow pants and they're almost too small and you don't necessarily have another person or kiddo in your family that you are looking at handing those things down, I always try to donate my extra things to the Goodwill, but our nurse said we actually need quite a lot. So if you have extra clothes or things that are no longer fitting, consider donating, sending them in, and I'll donate them, get them to the nurse, because they help out somebody that, like has an accident or slips and falls in a puddle or in the mud, or just having extra sets of warm things if it gets cold and somebody didn't bring gloves, hats, scarves, snow pants. Those things are always, always needed. And your help is always appreciated. So I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, enjoy the weather, and have a wonderful, wonderful first day of March and a week in March. Thanks.